So on the third day, the princess once again looked down from her window and saw the gardener's boy working in the garden.
Oh boy, and what do you think she said? Bring me a wreath of wildflowers from the field.
And when the king's daughter asks you to do something, you do it. So he went back out to the fields outside the garden and gathered the most fragrant of the wildflowers and carried them up the stairs. And no sooner had he put his feet on the landing than she snatched for his cap. But he was ready this time. Practice makes perfect. And he pulled his hat down hard upon his head, and she couldn't get it off, though she struggled and puffed and huffed, and finally she gave up, and she again offered him the golden coins, which this time he ignored completely and just walked back down the stairs.
Now, our mood shifts a bit, because shortly thereafter, that country became embroiled in war. And the king had a council amongst his subjects, but he did not know what to do. He did not know whether to take his army out to fight the opposing army, because the opposing army had a reputation of being far, far superior.
And when the boy caught wind of this conflict, he immediately made his way to the edge of the forest and remembered Iron John's words, "When you need me, come to the edge of the forest and call." So he called out,
Iron John,
Iron John, Iron John,
what do you desire?
give me a horse, a strong horse, a steed, for I am going to fight in the war.
You see, the horse that he had normally
Oh,
rode
no,
upon,
let's
yes.
just try to cover it up. Let's just fix
All
the
right,
error.
it's okay.
There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in.
He had been left a horse in the stable by these men who were making fun of him.
Yeah, he goes and he says to the men, I'm big now. I'm going to go and fight with you. I want to fight with you. But all I need is a horse.
And they said, well, we'll leave one in the stable for you. Wink, wink, nod, nod. And after we go, you can go get it. And so they left, and the boy did go to the stable, and there was a horse, but it was lame in one leg, and it could only go hobbledy-jig, hobbledy-jig. But nonetheless, he mounted the horse, and he went out to the edge of the forest and called out,
Iron John, Iron John.
And Iron John answered.
What did he answer?
He answered, what do you desire? The great question of all time. What do you desire?
I need a horse, a strong horse, for I'm going to fight in the wars.
That you shall have, answered Iron John. And more than that, besides. And Iron John went back in the woods, and no sooner did a young stable boy come out leading a horse, a magnificent horse. No wounded legs, three-legged steed was this. This was a magnificent horse with nostrils breathing fire, its flanks shaking with courage and determination. And so, excitedly, he mounted his horse and he rode off towards the war. And as he rode, he felt,
Microphone is
oh, yes.
not turned on.
No, there's no mic. We didn't have a mic either yesterday. We just have to speak loudly. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So, he went off with that horse riding and getting more confidence as he rode. And Iron John had said, I'd give you more than you asked for. And he gave him, as well as the horse, several hundred men armed in iron, flashing their swords. And as the boy rode with 100 men behind him towards the battle, he saw the battle going on, and he saw very quickly that the king's men were defeated and nearly all wiped out. And they might have been gone soon, except the boy, like a hurricane with 100 men behind him, fell upon them and boom, 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 and fought until there was not a single enemy soldier left on the field.
And the boy, rather than going back to the garden, he rode his horse and conducted his troop by byways back to the forest. And when he reached the forest, he called out again, "Iron John! Iron John!
What is it you desire this time?
Take back your powerful steed and give me back my three-legged horse." And so he rode the hobbledy-jig horse back to the castle. When the king returned to the castle, his daughter rushed out to congratulate him on his victory and wish him joy.
The king said, "The congratulations are not due to me. I was not responsible for the victory. There was a strange knight on the field, and to him I owe gratitude."
But who was this knight?
I really don't know. He didn't identify himself, and he took off after the last of the enemy, and I did not see him again.
The king's daughter stood there for a moment thinking, and then she made her way to the garden, and she found the gardener, and she asked him, "Where's your garden boy?"
Well, he has just returned. He has been around, but he's just returned, and he's helping with things. And but I don't know where he was. He returned on that hobbledy-jig of a horse, and the other men were making fun of him and asking him, "Where were you sleeping, under some hedge while we were fighting the enemy?"
But the boy answered, "I did best of all, and the battle would have gone poorly if it weren't for me." And then the men really laughed and guffawed and made fun of him. And the princess made her way back to the king. And when she arrived at the king said, I've been thinking.
I will throw a contest, a feast. Maybe we can find out who this strange warrior was. I will throw a feast and we'll invite them, and it'll last for 3 days. At the end of each day, you, my daughter, will throw a golden apple down from the tower. And perhaps this strange soldier will present himself, and we will find out who he is.
And when the boy caught wind of this festival, immediately he made his way to the edge of the forest.
Iron John.
And he called out,
Iron
John! Iron John!
And Iron John said, "What do you seek?
What do you desire?
What do you desire?" And the boy said, "That I catch the golden apples
and
that the princess throws down."
And Iron John said, "Consider that done. Consider those golden apples already in your hand. No problem whatsoever." And so the boy asked further.
Iron John gives him some more stuff.
Yeah, so Iron John gave him some more stuff. He gave him a suit of red armor and a red chestnut horse. And he said, "I'll give you a different colored armor and a different horse each day."
And so the boy donned, when the day of the festival came, he donned his red armor, he mounted his chestnut horse, and he galloped towards the palace. And he arrived as the knights were all assembling, flashing and gleaming in their various colors and flags and banners, because it was a festival day and they were in their best. And he mixed in amongst them. And then the princess came out upon the tower, and she threw the golden apple down, and none of the knights caught the apple. Who caught the apple? It was the boy. And as soon as he had it in his hand, he wheeled the steed around and galloped away as fast as he could. And the next day, he went to Iron John, and Iron John this time gave him a white steed and white armor. And he donned the white armor, and he climbed up upon this beautiful white horse, and he galloped across the fields toward the palace. And again, the knights were gathering, and he mixed in amongst them. And when the princess threw the golden apple down, all of them lunged and reached and stretched. But it was the boy who caught the apple. But again, as soon as he had it in his hands, he galloped away as fast as he could go.
And the king said, "This is not as it should be. I'm the king. He should present himself before me and let me know his name. I want to know. I'm the king. I should know what's going on."
And what did he threaten? What did he threaten? What did he say?
He said, "All right, all of you soldiers of mine, you can go out and bring that lad back, that soldier back. And if he doesn't come back willingly, you can force him back. And if you have to, stab him and cut him up, but bring him back. He owes his king respect."
And so on the third day, of course, the boy knew nothing of all of this. But on the third day, he went to the forest yet again. And he called out, "Iron John! Iron John!" And Iron John came and said,
"What do you desire?"
"Another horse." And so Iron John brought him this time a black steed and black armor. And now you can imagine, he dressed in the black armor. He swung himself up onto the black stallion, and he galloped across the fields until he came to the palace, where all of the knights again were assembled in their finery and flashing, gleaming in the sun. And the princess once again came out on the tower in her beautiful locks flowing in the sunlight, with her dresses flowing in the breeze. And they were all so eager, and she grasped the apple and she threw it down, and they all lunged and surged. It was the boy who caught the apple. And once again, he climbed upon his steed, he wheeled it around, and he raced away at top speed. But this time, the king's soldiers chased after him. They gave determined chase. And one of them actually was able to catch up, and with a surge, he got close enough that he lunged towards him and wounded his leg. But the boy spurred his horse, and the horse lunged forward. And in that lunge, which was so violent, his helmet fell off his head, and his golden locks came flowing down. And the soldiers saw this boy whose hair shone like the sun itself, and they went galloping back, and they reported what they had seen to the king and to all of the court.
Oh.
Of course, the princess was there too.
And the princess asked the gardener, "Where's the gardener's boy?" And she said, and the gardener said, "He has just returned. You know, he was at the festival like everyone else and claimed that he won the 3 golden apples, and he actually had them to show to my children."
Did you hear? So the gardener's boy just came back, and he has 3 golden apples that he brought back with him from the festival, and he gave them to my children as playthings. Well, of course, the princess went back to the king, and as soon as the king heard that, "Bring that boy to me!" And the boy came, and what did he have on his head? His hat. And the princess, as soon as she saw him, she rushed towards him and she pulled it off his head before he could grasp it. And everyone saw the golden hair falling down, and they saw how handsome he was, and they were amazed.
And the princess said, "I had already seen his golden hair. I knew he was not an ordinary helper to the gardener or to the cook before that."
And the king said,
"Well, bring him here." And he was brought before the king. And the king said, "Are you the one that rode out after the men and saved my soldiers and turned the tide of the battle?" And the boy said,
"Indeed I was. Indeed I was." And he opened his cloak and he drew out the 3 golden apples. And he said, "If you need more proof, here is the wound that your soldier inflicted on me when he was chasing me. And I was indeed the soldier who turned the tide of the battle."
"Well, is there anything you would desire of me in way of a reward for your service.
Because
the king asked.
the king knew. The king said, "Surely you are no gardener's boy, if you can do such feats as these."
Yeah.
And the boy answered, and he said, "Indeed there is something. If you might give me your daughter to wed."
And the daughter, the princess, said, "He does not stand on ceremony, does he? But never mind." I knew he was not an ordinary gardener's boy or cook's boy because I saw his golden hair long ago.
And she laughed loudly, and she rushed towards him, and she grabbed him, and she kissed him. So close your eyes, and imagine the king's daughter, or whoever it is that represents that perfect, intuitive, divine feminine, the sacred feminine, which could be in any kind of a body, that intuition who sees your shadows, who sees the gold, who knows that they're not so far apart, who sees beyond and knows you to your depths. And imagine this person kissing you. This is a sacred kiss, a kiss which sees your shadows and your gold at once and sees who you truly are. And so on the day of the festival, you can open your eyes again, on the day of the festival, or on the day of the wedding. The day of the wedding, his parents came, the old king and queen from his childhood, and they heard the news, and they came, and they were present, and they were greatly rejoiced because they had given up hope of ever seeing their son again. And all the people that were important to him had come to the wedding. So close your eyes again and stand up, please. If you can, stand up, stand up. If not, stay seated.
Don't forget to knock on the door for Iron John to announce himself.
I won't.
Okay.
And so all of these people are gathered at the wedding, and there's great feasting and rejoicing. There's music, there's dancing, there's speeches. Everyone there who is important to you is there and is celebrating. This is the feast of your wedding and the feast of you coming into your full manhood. The boy, the youth, now a young man. And in the midst of all of this feasting and dancing and joy, suddenly the great doors of the hall swing open. And there stands a mighty king. There stands a mighty king with his retinue behind him. And he comes through the doors and he approaches you and he embraces you. And he says to you,
I am honored. I am Iron John. I am Iron John. I am Iron John, and I was by enchantment changed and transformed into a wild man. But you, my boy, you have set me free. And everything I possess, which is more than you can all imagine, everything I possess is now yours.
so feel the power of this great being, this great king, which is now bestowed on you. Feel this power and this wealth flowing into you. Breathe it in. Spread your arms and open your hands and welcome all of these riches and power into yourself, as if you're reclaiming your own original wealth and greatness. Feel, too, moving in you the king's original ancient power of the wild man, the aboriginal connection to the ancient life of the world. And breathe that in. These deep roots into the earth, the wisdom of the trees and the rivers and the mountains, his wondrous connection to life and life force. All of this flowing into you from this great king as he places his hands on your shoulders, and blesses you. And as you feel this beautiful power within you, moving through you, all the other parts of yourself are awakened and restored as well. Here is the young boy holding his golden ball. Lift the boy now up onto your shoulders and feel his beauty and his innocence, his wonder and enthusiasm. Know that this boy will always be with you. And you will always care for him. Here also is the adventurer with his great courage, his fearlessness, and feel that filling you. And also the adventurer, the youth, willing to endure confusion, danger, failure, difficulties to learn and grow, and finally come into his own power and discover who you really are. Just stand now for a while and just hold all these energies and gifts all at once. And feel the fullness of it, the fullness of who you are. For indeed, all of these energies are a part of your manhood. And a new life begins in which your deepest powers, your deepest talents, your deepest self expresses itself even more than it has before, even more freely, even more fully. And you bring yourself to the world. You bring yourself to the world, knowing that you are a blessing. And as you move through the world, you bless those whom you touch with your smile, your eyes, by seeing them, by encouraging them. All of these powers you bring to the world which greatly needs you. Just visualize that for yourself. What does that look like for you? What does that look like as you leave our camp, our gathering tomorrow, and go out? What will you take with you? And what will be different about you? Who will you be going forward? Now I'd like you to open your eyes and turn towards a man and stand face to face with one other man. So one man will be the great king, the sovereign, and the other will be the boy, the youth, the young man. And so the king will place his hands onto the young man's shoulders and just bless him. Bless him with your eyes. Bless him with your eyes. And see him. See his shadow. See his wounds. See his challenges. All the pain he's been through. And see his gold, which has sprung up from that pain and those shadows. And bless him as he goes forward into his life. Young men seek the blessing of older men. Keep yourself there in that position. Young men seek the blessing of older men. If you wonder what you can do in this world, be an elder, be a sovereign. When you come across young men, and that means any man that needs blessing. It can be a man in an old man's body who still is a youth and needs the blessing. Bless the man. That's a gift that you can give. So now change, and the young man becomes the sovereign, and the sovereign becomes the young man. We go back and forth, don't we? And with your eyes, just see him deeply. See his shadows, his wounds, his challenges, his griefs, and know they're beautiful. And tell him with your eyes, they are beautiful. You are beautiful. see the gold that's grown up in him through these challenges and bless it and bless him. And as Hari said at the very beginning of our gathering, welcome. Welcome to all of you. Welcome to all of you.
Find in yourself how true the words may be that I am Iron John, but was by enchantment turned into a wild man. And you, my youth, my son, my boy, you have set me free. And all that I have, my wisdom, my experience, my love, is yours.
And you can finish up as you like.